Hey, okay, so today is Monday. This is the first week of my summer, and I thought I would put out some book suggestions for people who have children who spend time staring at their phones. And people ask me often for recommendations, and so I've got 12, a dozen great books. Most of them I read. Most of them are new. Most of them are books that I read this year. Here's the first one. It's called The Keeper by Mal Peet. It's older. It's an older book. I just found it this year. And if you know a kid who loves soccer, this is a good place to start. It's kind of like it. It's about. It's really similar to Field of Dreams, if you have seen that movie. In the sense that it's about soccer, but it's also about a father and son. It's about there's a spiritual nature, mystical, not spiritual, mystical, magical, and it's really, really good. This was one of my favorite books that I read this year. The Keeper, Mal Peet. Ghost. This is another great book. It's about a young kid who's probably, if I remember right, he's middle school age, maybe 13ish, and he's in kind of a rough situation, living alone with his mother. Father's a bad guy, and there's a history there that you learn when you read the book. And he kind of finds salvation through track. He stumbles across a track team and starts running track, and it's kind of about how a poor kid with a lot of baggage, a lot of damage, kind of finds salvation. And it's a really good book. Apparently there are more sequels. There's a sequel on the way, which I'm looking forward to. Ghost, and the author is Jason Reynolds. Great stuff. Okay, this one I read a long time ago. The Lightning Thief. If you've got a boy who doesn't like to read, this is the book, Lightning Thief. Yes, it's a movie, but the movie is awful. The movie is the worst adaptation of a novel, perhaps, that I've ever seen. But anyway, The Lightning Thief is a great book. First in a series of 5, and there's a whole slew of other series that he's written. But The Lightning Thief, Percy Jackson, it's great stuff. Compound. I read this one a while ago. S.A. Bodine is the author's name, and it's about this kid named Eli who's been living with his family in an underground compound because there's been some type of a calamity up above, nuclear disaster, something like that. And so we pick up the story. The family's been there for 6 years, surviving on their own, but then Eli finds that perhaps things aren't as he's been told. It's a really good book, and there's a part 2. This book is great. This one I have told lots of people about before, I think even on Facebook here. An Ember in the Ashes. It's a great book. The second one is equally good. The third one is in the works. And it's kind of a magical, mystical, Game of Thrones type thing. Certainly appropriate. It's for young adults, and certainly appropriate for for 7th and 8th grade and above. I had a book club this year at school, and all the rest of these, I think, are books that we read together. Goodbye Stranger. This would be a good book to read, kind of a mother-daughter type book. There are three main characters, best friends, and one of them is being pressured by a boy to text photos that she shouldn't be texting. Nothing terribly risque, but certainly things she shouldn't be texting. But this is a really good book, and the kids in the book club liked it. Goodbye Stranger, Rebecca Stead. Goodbye Stranger, Rebecca Stead. Love and Gelato. This was a really fun read. This is about a girl whose mother has just passed away, and she's sent to Italy to meet the father that she never knew. And when she gets there, she finds her mother's journal, and she's kind of reading her mother's journal and following in her mother's footsteps over there in Italy. And it's part love story, part mystery. Very innocent stuff. Great for any middle school kid. Love and Gelato. Jenna Evans Welch. And by the way, this author is so awesome. She sent autographed book plates to all the kids in my book club because she's that cool. Retta Sepetys wrote this book, these next two books, Between Shades of Grey, and this is a book about, it's set during World War II, historical fiction, and it talks about a family that is, they find themselves displaced by the Nazis, and they're caught between the Nazis and the Russians, and they're, we know now looking back that that's not a good place to be. At the time, they didn't know. They didn't know what the right place was, and it's a terrible ordeal to think that these things actually happened. But this is a really good book, Between Shades of Grey. It was made into a movie, not the one you're thinking of. They had to change the title for obvious reasons. I don't remember what the title was, but the book's better, so read it. This one, Salt to the Sea, also set in World War II, historical fiction, same author, Retta Sepetys, and this tells the tragic story of a group of kids who are on a type of death march through Europe, trying to find salvation. There's a ship that they've heard that will take them to safety, and it's about their journey to get there. It's about what happens when they do. Is this the salvation that they hoped for? Great historical fiction, and it's true events. The ship existed, and so those events really happened. This is a great read. Any middle school student. We also read this one, The Sun is Also a Star, by Nicola Yoon. There's a movie that's out right now, Everything, which is a novel also written by her. Loved this book. I would say that this is maybe, 8th graders and up. It's about a boy and a girl who fall in love one day in New York, and they're 17, and so they kind of do 17-year-old stuff, making out, stuff like that. It's maybe, like I said, maybe a little bit. If you've got a 6th grade girl, my 6th grade girl won't be reading this, but 8th grade and up, totally appropriate. But a really, really good book, and I love those two characters, and that's all I'll say about that. Mosquito Land we read. This got mixed reviews. I personally loved it. Mixed reviews though from the book group, but it's it's about this girl named Mim, who's incredibly independent and unique and different from all the kids around her, and a journey that she takes. And it's I tend to like books like that. It's again, there's some profanity in here. There's some serious themes. This is, if you've got a mature 8th grader, go ahead. Certainly high school. This would be really good. Mosquito Land. David Arnold is the author. Mosquito Land. Here's my favorite book of the year, Kids of Appetite, by the same author as Mosquito Land, David Arnold. Kids of Appetite. Again, this is also kind of a mature read, 8th grade and up probably. This is a really fascinating read. It's told from multiple perspectives, which I tend to like, and it's there's these kids are 17, 16, 17, 18, kind of in that range, and they're trying to figure themselves out, trying to figure out the world, and all of them are kind of forgotten kids, and they find each other, this group of friends, to form a new kind of family, and it's a great book, a really, really great book. You'll remember it. You'll remember these characters forever. So I hope you like these books. I hope that your kid will like one of these books. I hope you have a great summer. I hope that you read all summer long. That's all. Bye.